So, like I was saying, there's a lot of person tend to mix it up. So, too much of our time, we'll go right into our section. Our speaker is here. Hello, Fumnanya. Good evening. We're happy to have you here.
Hi, good evening. Just confirm, can you hear me clearly?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, that's great. Good evening, Evelyn. Thank you for having me.
Okay, we are excited
thank
to
you.
have you also. So, a bit of introduction about what we do as a community. Some persons here are not part of our community. So, the 3 Product Innovation, it's a community that was birthed out of the idea to ensure product managers are not lonely after transitioning into the product space. Now, we found out that there are a lot of challenges when you transition, and it seems really lonely out there, especially when you're moving from a space that is not really digital, and it looks like you're coming up with new ideas, with innovative ideas. So this came up to help product managers have a supportive ecosystem where they can talk to each other, product managers of varying levels, where the younger ones can reach out just to seek guidance, to seek support. We operate it in a very semi-formal setting, so it's not the usual formal community setting. We ensure that the ecosystem is supportive enough and everyone is free to reach out for support, for help at any point in time in their journey. And another segment is us identifying skills that are required for us to thrive, to position ourselves better in our various places of endeavor. And we'll try to educate ourselves on such skills. And one of it is what we're having today, which is the product manager versus product owner, trying to ensure everyone gains clarity on what these roles entails, the similarities, the differences, and how they can position themselves better with respect to each of the role that resonates with them. So going forward, I'll hand over to Fumnanya to take over. Fumnanya, I've made you host, so feel free to share your screen. And everyone, please get your notepads and your pen. Let's dive into this. Thank you very much.
All right. Good evening, everyone, again. It's a pleasure to be here. And the topic that we'll be talking about today, I know it's pretty dear to
Hello, can anyone hear Fumnanya?
Hello, can you hear me?
Can hear you.
Yes, you were off for a while. We can hear you now.
Okay. All right. Just wanted to confirm that you could hear me. But we're good, right? Then I can go on.
Yes, please.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. So, like I was saying, the product space is filled with
Naya, you're muted. So I think when you try to share your screen, you mute the mic. It's muted right now. Hello, Fumnanya. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Hi, we couldn't hear you for a bit.
Okay. All right then. So I think Zoom is unmuting me when I share my screen. but I think you can hear me now, so I can start. So yeah, I was talking about the um, confusion that exists in the space. It can be really difficult for a lot of product managers to navigate that. But yeah, what what I want to do is for us to go through this session, and then we can stop the confusion and everyone can be aligned on what they're supposed to be doing and what they would like to do as well, with respect to the various roles. Just to confirm again, can you guys hear me clearly?
Just
We
get
can
near
hear you.
200.
Please, if you're not
Fantastic.
speaking, you can mute your mic. Golden, please mute your mic. Thank you.
Okay, great. So before we dive into it, I'll just do like a short introduction about who I am. I have about 3 anyone that knows me and we have had discussions would know that I always emphasize on leadership first, team ownership, then cohesion, very essential to the success of a product team. I'm interested in all things tech, especially HR tech, health tech, and sports tech. I usually spend my spare time reading anything. I could read anything as long as it's available. Writing and sometimes watching movies. I'm a huge Liverpool fan, and I'm also an indie music enthusiast. So yeah, just a brief short introduction about who I am. So let's get into it. What can we expect from this presentation? You would expect me to help you see the problem with product management, also understanding what it means to be a product manager, what the main focus of a product manager would be, and also what the main focus of a product owner would be as well. We'll talk about key differences as well as similarities and execution. Execution being what you should do now as an individual. And if you're also working in an organization where it seems like expectations, clear expectations are not set, what your organization needs to do. And then we can just round it up with some key takeaways. So the problem with product management is, I mean, there are a lot of problems, but I shorten it just to 3 things. Number one, product management is extremely broad. It is so vast. When I started as a product manager, I did not expect what I was seeing. It was just a lot, you know. I expected to do so many things that I never thought that I'll be doing anyways. I mean, I knew about it theoretically, but in terms of the practical sense, it was like, wow, I was being overloaded. But it's been a very wonderful space to operate in. But it is broad, it is large. There are a lot of product roles that you hear. There's the program manager, there's the project manager, there's a product owner, there's a product manager, product specialist. You just hear a lot of them, and then you're so confused. Their product managers will be doing sales jobs. Some of their product managers would also be doing customer success jobs. And some of their product managers will also be doing marketing jobs. It's not supposed to be so, it's not right. And it does not allow the product manager, the person who has been put in charge of the products, to do some deep product work that they are expected to do. Nobody is a Superman. When so much is demanded from you. So what you can see here is sort of like a map of what I was talking about with product management being broad, communication, sprint planning, leadership, backlog grooming, user stories, design, execution. I mean, you're expected to do all these things. You're expected to be part of all these things. Your hands are expected to be in multiple places at the same time. And because you're in such a precarious situation, basically means that you're in the middle of all these multiple stakeholders. You're in the middle, and marketing needs something from you, sales needs something from you, your CEO needs something from you, HR needs something from you. Literally every single person needs something from you. So you have to be able to manage all these things, and hence the broadness of product management. So who is a product manager, so to say? The product manager discovers what the users need, prioritizes what to build next, and it's the product manager's responsibility to make sure that the team is aligned and rallied around the product roadmap. Now, if the product manager is not able to do this, then it makes the job extremely difficult. Customer discovery to product delivery. It's sometimes really difficult for a lot of product managers to really navigate it. So sometimes what you see is some product managers are good in some sense, like product strategy, and some product managers might not be so good in terms of communication. I've seen it before. I've had communications with some of these product managers, and you could tell that sometimes they do struggle with how difficult this can be. But I love this very simple definition from Marty Kagan. He's the author of Inspired, How to Create Products Customers Love. I would advise that everyone should read that book. It's such a fantastic book. The role of a product manager is to discover a product that is valuable, usable, and feasible. Valuable in the sense that is it going to bring value both to your customers, your company. Usable in the sense that when your customers enjoy what you've provided, are they able to use it? Is the experience great enough? And feasible in terms of, can we actually build this? Or are we just wasting our time here? Now, the product manager's focus. This is not an exhaustive list rather, but you just see some things that are detailed, like user research. The product manager is in charge of discovering what the users need by conducting user research and unveiling critical insights. It's extremely key that product manager is good at user research. And the reason is because if you do not understand who you're building for, then why are you even building in the first place? Now, long-term vision and strategy, it's up to the product manager to be able to navigate that space as well. You should be able to build a long-term vision, a compelling vision that would push your team, that will rally your team, and they will be able to push ahead with you. And a strategy that will help your team understand that goal that you have for the product, and they can work towards that strategy with you. Which brings me to my next focus, which is team alignment. When the team is aligned around a cohesive product roadmap, it's very difficult to stop the team from achieving success. So team alignment is extremely necessary and extremely key, and the product manager has to focus on team alignment. What next are we building? I'm sure you've heard all these questions before. Customer success comes to ask you, what are we doing? Your CEO is asking you, what's next? Your colleagues are asking you, okay, what's next? What's happening with you? Everybody just wants to know what's happening. And the product manager has to decide what features to incorporate into the product, so that everyone who is building the product rather would be aligned on it. Everyone who is building products will understand why we're building this and understand what this feature is bringing to our customers. Product delivery is also key. Product manager should be an expert on how to deliver products. And you should be the product champion as well. If you do not like your product, you cannot be a product champion. You need to be able to champion
Hello.
Hi, Fumnanya. We can't hear you again.
I think his network is off.
Probably network.
Hello, Fumnanya, we can't hear you. So can everyone hear me?
I can hear you, Evelyn.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you, Evelyn.
Okay, so I think this is from his own end, and he has not even realized that. His audio is not. Let me drop the message again.
Seems like he hasn't realized that we can't hear him because the screen keeps changing.
Yeah, you're right.
Maybe someone can try and call him personally, right? So he's aware. Because I sent him a message personally, but I don't think he's checking the chat.
Okay, thanks. Thanks for the feedback. Try call him now.
Hello, Fumnanya, can you hear me? Hello? Okay, can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can
I
hear
can
you.
hear you, Evelyn.
Okay, Fumnanya, can you hear me? Okay, I think he has dropped off, so he will join again. I think we'll use Google Meet next time. Damola, please prepare for us to try our Google Meet. It seems Zoom is not being friendly with us lately.
Okay. So we might need to.
Let's try something else. Let's share our love with other platforms.
We have a mix of platforms. So
Yeah. Hi, Fumnanya. Welcome back. Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me? Where are the prayer warriors? Precious, start praying for good network for Fumnanya so that we can gain some insights
Precious
today.
should use our voice to bring back the network.
Hello?
Hello,
Hi.
can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear.
Yes.
Mine better.
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
You are
it's
welcome
better.
back.
Wow.
So
So,
you've gone very, very far. The slides were moving, but we were not hearing anything.
okay,
Wow.
so
Yeah. I just want to so let me see whether I can reshare my screen. Kindly give me host yeah.
Okay, I've done that. I've done that now.
Great. Thank you. Uh, so I think my network just played a very fast one on me. Do apologize for that.
It's okay.
So just let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see your screen. No, we've not gotten to this place.
it's
Go back.
coming up.
Okay.
Okay. Next slide. I think the next one. Next one, we've talked about the definition.
Next slide.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. I said the next one. We've talked about the definition.
Okay, have we talked about the product manager's focus?
So we're
So
here.
this was where we lost you around what
Product
next are we building? Okay, well,
I think let's start from, I don't know, all of us can talk. I think I took it up to product delivery kind of.
okay.
Okay. So I would just confirming again, you can hear me clearly.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Better
I
now.
can hear you.
Okay, great. So so the product manager is some of the main focus really it surrounds around user research, which is why I said product manager is responsible for discovering what the users need by conducting user research and unveiling critical insights. So it's through user research that you're able to understand who you're building for and why a certain problem needs to be solved in the first place. So the product manager is also responsible for the long-term vision and strategy and aligning the team along the long-term vision and strategy for the product. And so the team needs to be aligned on the product roadmap once the vision and strategy has been set. And I was going to say that you heard this question, what next are we building? What next are we doing? Everybody has asked you this question. Even your product manager colleagues are asking you, oh yeah, what are you building? What are you doing next? And the product manager is really responsible for defining that. So through the user research, through understanding the problem, through the product vision and strategy and a compelling roadmap, the product manager is able to define what next needs to be built at the end of the day. And product delivery is also a big part of the product manager's job, as well as product manager being the product champion. And like I said earlier, if you don't like your product, you cannot be the champion of your product. You need to love your product, and through loving your product, you're able to align other teams, other external teams, to be in love with your product. So I will be doing some periodic checks just to make sure that you guys can hear me. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, can hear you.
Fantastic.
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, great. Thank you very much, guys. So who is a product owner? So I love this simple definition. Doesn't need too much essays to be written anyways. A product owner is supposed to be responsible for maximizing the value of the product resulting from the work of the development team. So what essentially you would see the product owner
Mic check. Fumnanya.
technical lead. And then I was not really satisfied with it. I thought, well, we need to optimize it and we need to make it better. So production processes, everything that comes into the production process has to be optimized. And the product owner is responsible for that, or mostly responsible for that. So because there are organizations that practice the Scrum methodology, you would see product owners attending Scrum meetings. And some of those meetings include daily stand-ups, sprint retrospective, and sprint reviews, as well as backlog grooming meetings. So this is to ensure that development work is aligned with the roadmap that has been set, either by the product manager or by someone else in the organization. But why I put said by the product manager is because there are organizations which have the product manager role and the product owner role. So you have individuals working in these separate roles. But as I continue with this presentation, you see why that is important. So the product owner is also supposed to communicate the voice of the customer to the development team. The customer is not there with you. The customer doesn't know what you're saying. The only thing that the customer does is to tell you how they feel and how this is really hurting their processes. And when you're meeting with your development team, the customer is not going to be there with you when you're explaining team so that they understand, while this provides feedback on validated roadmap to the product manager. I just did a simple definition. The product manager decides what the product to build next, and the product owner, the job of the product owner really is to help development team to build products. Now you might be wondering, they are so diverse. I mean, they are doing separate things. Do they have a common goal? Well, they do have a common goal. And the common goal is to build and improve products that create meaningful value for the customers and all the stakeholders within the company. The main goal of a product manager is that you are creating value. If you're not creating value, then you're not doing an extremely good work as a product manager. So it's important that every single thing that you're doing, every single thing that you're putting in has to create meaningful value to your customers and all your stakeholders within the company. And that means that you cannot build the wrong things. If you build the wrong things, then you're not creating value for your customers at the end of the day. So what are the key differences? Just a periodic check. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, can hear you.
Fantastic. So what are the key differences between the product manager role and the product owner role? So I categorize this into three places, which is overall focus, responsibility, and ownership. So with overall focus, the product manager is usually very highly strategic. They have a grand vision of the product, and most times they have a long-term focus of where they think the product is going to be. So you see product managers being asked what they think about their products, how their product is going to be in 5 years' time, how their product is going to be in 3 years' time or in 2 years' time, what they think the product is going to be. But with the product owner, they are more detailed oriented. And why they are more detailed oriented is because they work with development. So in that sense, they have to be more detailed. They are short to mid-term focus, which means that they are thinking about either the next sprint or the next 2 sprints or the next 3 sprints, right? Or they're thinking about the next couple of months, maybe like 3 months or 6 months. So it's like short to mid-term, so to say. So what's the responsibility? Product manager is responsible for the product vision, like I said earlier, the customer discovery, as well as problem discovery, the cross-team alignment, where I said that you have to be a product champion. You have to, if necessarily, get people to rally around the product. And the sweetest part about this cross-team alignment is that even when you're not in the room, those people who you're giving a compelling product vision to, they would be championing your product behind your back. And you even be surprised when that happens. And that's when you know that, yeah, you're really doing a great work with cross-team alignment. Everybody knows what you're working on and what you're hoping to achieve. So because the product manager also owns the roadmap, they
No audible any longer.
Hello. Hello.
I think we lost Fumnanya again.
Wow.
Sustainable, viable product.
Precious, where are you?
Hi, we lost you for a bit.
Oh, you lost me for a bit.
Yes.
Yes, we did.
Yes, Fumnanya, can you take it from the responsibility part again? Sorry.
Yeah, that's no problem. Yeah, with the responsibility part, I said the product manager is responsible for the product vision, the customer discovery, as well as the cross-team alignment.
Sorry, I can't see your slides. I don't know if it's just me.
The slide is visible, yeah. Check your end.
Okay. Well, I think whoever said they can't see it, we probably need.
Unless I refresh, right? Log out and log in again. You can try that.
Hello.
Hi, we're with you from there.
Hello.
Okay.
Can hear you.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, can hear you.
Okay. Just in a couple of minutes, I'm going to do a network switch. It's just going to take a short while. Just give me a moment.
Okay, no problem. That's fine. So while Fumnanya is trying to switch, Precious, where are you? You've not been talking. You should pray on our network. We did not. We are missing the impact. Is Precious on this call?
She's on the call, but okay, she's there, but
she just logged in and went to cook food.
Yeah, all those kind of people, you know now.
Oh, hello, Judith. Judith, your mic is not muted. You want to say something?
Sorry.
I think he's talking, but I can't hear him.
Slides are back.
Somebody needs to reach out to me. Okay, the screen has gone off now.
Yeah, I think he will join back.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you. But your screen is not visible.
Yes. I've not shared it, so I'm sharing it now. Can you see my slide? I'm at the key differences.
Yes.
Yeah, I can see a slide.
See your screen. Welcome back.
Great. So I've done a short network switch. Apologies for the internet issues. So I will continue with the key differences. So I categorize them into three places, which is the overall focus, the responsibility, and the ownership. Now, with the product manager, their overall focus is highly strategic. They have a grand vision of the product as well as a long-term focus. So the product manager is thinking between 6 months to like 2 years. Sometimes I've had questions, I've had conversations with my CEO where we are even thinking about 5 years along the line. How is our product going to be? And those conversations are quite compelling because they usually help the product manager to really define and really become strategic and just double down just to make sure that the grand vision of the product is achieved. Now, the product owner, they are more detailed oriented, short to mid-term focus. That's usually, they are probably thinking about 2 sprints ahead, 4 sprints ahead, 3 to 6 months ahead as well. Or the overall responsibility for the product manager, they own the product vision, the customer discovery part of it as well as the problem discovery. So the product manager really has to deeply understand what the problem is about. The product manager has to have do like proper customer discovery at the end of the day. And earlier in my slides, I spoke about being a product champion. Well, this is where it happens with the cross-team alignment. If you don't love your product, you can't be a product champion. And if you cannot be a product champion, then you're not able to align with the other teams. The other teams don't really know what you're working on. They don't know what your team is trying to achieve. You have no vision. You have no strategy. It now becomes really difficult, and anybody can just decide to put hands into your product and influence how your product should go, just because there's no proper vision and strategy for the product. And also, because there's a roadmap, there will be features on the roadmap, and there will have to be prioritization, which is an extremely key component in product management. Now, the product owner, they are required to optimize the development process, turn the product vision into an actionable backlog. So from backlogs, you have your epics, and from your epics, you have your detailed user stories. And this all comes from the fact that the product owner has to deeply understand the customer's problem, and which is why they will be advocating for the customer's needs in front of the development team. So that when the development team argues that this particular page does not need a better experience, as a product owner, you're able to argue that this particular page needs a better experience because you can advocate for the customer itself. You know what the customer faced when they were navigating through that page or through that particular design. And now with ownership, mostly you see the product manager being in charge of the product roadmap. That's why the roadmap is such a very continuous word in product management. Everyone is always asking for a roadmap once they want to see the roadmap. And also the product manager will be in charge of the minimum viable product, which is otherwise known as the MVPs. But with the product owner, you mostly see them being in charge of the backlogs, the epics, as well as the user stories. And all these things resonate from the fact that they understand the vision, and they're able to break down that vision into all these various parts, which is the backlog, which is the epics, and the user story. So what I just did here was to show you a very simple diagram of how the roles sort of intersect. So you can see with the product manager, mostly they will be really involved with like business cases, with product forecasting. Product forecasting meaning that the product manager has to see 2 steps ahead or even 3 steps ahead of anyone, how the product would look like in a couple of months, in a couple of years, and so forth. They're also in charge of the entire product, as well as segmentation of the product, as well as user segmentation. And because of business cases, because of product forecasting, product manager has to be in charge of pricing, and they also decide what features to kill and what features to keep, which means that when a product or a feature reaches the end of its life cycle, it needs to be put to bed, or it needs to rest in peace, so to say. But with the product owner, and I put a me in bracket because this is what I do, I am in charge of daily stand-ups, scrum ceremonies, really, backlog grooming. I'm always available for my development, for my sprint team 24/7. I'm also in charge of user stories. And at the end of the sprint, I can also accept or reject the work that has been done by my team. So it means that if the work that has been done does not meet the specifications or does not meet the user stories, which I've already detailed down to the team, then the work would not be delivered to our customers, and we'll need to go back to the drawing board and make sure that we do a proper work. And in that sense, we also need to make sure that we are plugging in all these gaps, so we learn from our mistakes or our failures, and we keep getting better along the way. But if you just see this particular call out here that is in between the product manager and the product owner, what that call out means is there are sometimes that the product owner will do a product manager's job, and sometimes that the product manager would have to do the product owner's job. And all these things resonate with vision, product roadmap, bug management, being the customer advocate, also being able to position the product and creating user personas around the product. And finally, my favorite part of product management, which is competitive analysis. So in a way, I sort of intersect between being a product manager and a product owner, but in my organization, we are all referred to as product owners. And I'll also tell the story as we continue with the slide. So it's all in the mind. I love this very simple analogy here. It's all in the mind. It's just a mindset thing. So why I said it's a mindset thing is because if you remember when I said at the beginning, companies do not know that product management is broad. So it's very possible that where a company needs a product manager that has like really good experience with growth, and they go on to get a product manager who is not really experienced with growth. Maybe they're just great at features, right? We cannot expel the place of learning, which is extremely important. But when a company needs something, it's very important for that company to define what they need. Can you still hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
I can hear you.
Fantastic. So it's very important for the company to define what they need. It's very important for the company to say that, oh yeah, we need a product manager at this point, or we need a product owner at this point, or we need both roles at the same time. So it's all in the mind, and it's really important for us to understand that. So with the product manager, usually, when it comes to giving them money, they will usually ask that if you give me this money, I will deliver this particular business result. So that means that the product manager role intersects between product and business. You have to be on both ends. And if you remember the previous slide, I talked about business cases, product forecasting, product pricing as well. So product and business has to meet together to make the product manager role a bit more compelling, much more stronger. But usually with the product owner, you would see, sorry about that. With the product owner, you will see, product owner will say, give me this money and I'll ensure that you get the most value from your development investment. And mostly the product owner will be focused on the product, making sure that what is being delivered out there to our customers is of value, and the investment that is going into the product is not wasted at any point. So who do you need? I like to phrase this question in two ways. Number one, who does your company need? And number two, who do you need to be? Now, we have a lot of people. I've attended product community meetups where I would ask, oh, yeah, I mean, what's your role? And people will tell me I'm a product manager. And then I'll ask someone else who's a role and say they're a product owner. And I'll ask someone else and say, oh, I'm a product specialist. Then I'll ask someone else and say, oh, I'm a growth product manager. What I get from all these conversations is that there are various product management specializations at the end of the day, which is why it's important that if you want to make the decision to either function as a product owner or as a product manager, you need to focus on outcomes and not titles. Titles can be extremely dangerous. And if you focus on titles without focusing on the outcomes, you set yourself up for failure at the end of the day. You also need to define what success looks like. Your company needs to define what success looks like, because without properly defining what success looks like, you end up just running ragged, and it will be very difficult for you to continue in your role or continue in that role. So from focusing on the outcomes and not the titles, and also the company deciding on what success looks like, it's now easy for the company to define the process. Now, we define the process, we know what success looks like, we know our outcomes. Now let us get our guy or our girl in this sense. So what we will need is to define the company process, what the company needs. Do they need a product manager? Do they need a product owner? Eliminate all the bottlenecks that might be possible. So if they decide that, well, we need a product owner, but we see that there's a lot to do for a product manager, then we need to have both. So we have organizations like InterSwitch that have a product manager and a product owner. Their roles differ, but at the same time, they work together to create value, to create meaningful value for the product at the end of the day. So when the bottlenecks are eliminated, it's now easy for you to structure your team. You now know who you need and what you need, and then the team understands what success is and what the outcomes are expected to be, and they go on to work to make sure that that outcome is achieved. Now, one person can do both, but it is a very big task and it's a big ask. And if you're currently doing both in your organization, based on the slides, based on this presentation, you need strong support from your executives and your direct reports. You need to have a fantastic team, a really great team that can help you be able to achieve the outcomes that are expected from you. And you need sales, marketing, and customer service to align with you so that you're able to bring success to the product at the end of the day. Now, with Seamless HR, at the beginning, we were called product managers. So if you were coming into the company, you were called the product.
Hello, can anyone hear me?
We can hear you, but we can't hear the.
Now
can't hear him
we got to
anymore.
the interesting part and we can't hear him anymore.
Oh yeah, prayer
We
warriors.
have,
Please.
telling you, we have
Network. I believe it's network from his own.
No, prayer warriors is not fast. They ate while praying. That's the issue. Please.
Hey, who will eat and pray?
somebody is back from the kitchen. Hello, Fumnanya, we can't hear you.
I'm not sure it's in this call.
Well, he was the one hosting us. I guess he's here, but maybe his network is a little bit bad.
Network is bad. Network is.
Yes, it just went. Network went up.
That's why I said you keep praying. You'll be back soon.
When
Pray.
Precious went to the kitchen, we were calling her since she went to the kitchen. What do you expect of the network?
You could tell from her voice that she was eating. So.
You understand? You understand? Now, when we needed to take insight from the product owner, product manager team, I hope everybody was taking notes.
Don't worry, he's coming back.
Please start firing. Let me reclaim so that you will understand that we can't hear him. I think the network thing is frozen. Wow. So usually, Damola. Hello, Damola.
Hi, how are you doing?
Okay, so
What's up?
usually, in the period where I've used Google Meet, I don't think this network issue is limited. Maybe Google Meet doesn't consume a lot of bandwidth.
Okay. Might try that option out too. No, we're using Google Meet before now because for the sake of recording, we switch. You might still have to check on the option of Google Meet is open. We could do that. So okay.
Or we should try that new solution that these boys came up with.
There's noted.
Adedemola.
Hello.
Yeah, I said, is it because of recording? That's why we're using Zoom.
Kind of.
Sort of, yeah.
Okay, I think that's fine because according to what the other person said, Google Meet do not consume all those network. But it's better to use it, but because of recording, I think this is fine.
Google Meet also has an option for recording, but you also have to. It's subscription based.
But I think Google Meet can also.
What did you say, Damilola?
Oh, okay.
Google Meet can record, but it's subscription based, yes. So we'll subscribe and try that out.
No, I was saying Google Meet can use.
Please help us to find Fumnanya.
He's still on the call. He's just frozen. He's still on the call. He's just frozen.
And you will have this thought that he's still speaking with us. Oh,
I'm telling you.
So somebody should reach out to him.
Fortunately.
Okay, I think we need to have, maybe someone should need to have her number, in case of this kind of a thing, to put a call across to Fumnanya, to tell her that him or her, though I don't know whether a woman or.
Okay, I get your point to kind of get his number just to note it. Thank you.
Fumnanya's number. Adedemola, do you have Fumnanya's number?
Unfortunately, I don't have his number, but I get him.
Okay, maybe on the chat box, I need to inform her to kindly assist with her number in case of this kind of a thing, and probably need assistance.
He will join back in shortly. Apparently, he was talking and nobody could hear, and he has gotten to the conclusion when he's talking. So he'll try joining back in soon.
Hello?
Conclusion, okay.
Did anyone hear me?
Finally, he's back. It's back. Hi.
Let's just calm down.
Wow, this is
fine. Thank God it's back.
Oh wow, what a Saturday. So Evelyn, please can you give me host access?
Okay. So where we lost you was when immediately you mentioned SeamlessHR. Well, everything just went off.
Oh, fantastic! So that means I'm towards the end. Then when I was discussing about how it currently works for us in SeamlessHR, which is this, right? This is the slide that you saw last.
Exactly. Yes.
Fantastic.
Yes.
So, okay, great. So let me run through that again. So what I was saying with SeamlessHR was, at the beginning, when I came into the organization, I was a product manager. And when we started defining our product management processes, because now we were getting bigger and people were joining in, so we needed to properly define our product management processes. So we doubled down, we went back, we looked at everything, and we saw that most of the things that we did resonated with the product owner role. So majority of what we did, about 70% of what we did was really product owner. And then when we were breaking it down, we decided we're going with the title of product owner since it resonated with that role. And since we're going to work with the Scrum methodology, SeamlessHR is strictly working with the Scrum methodology. So all product teams are supposed to work with the Scrum methodology as well. So while we're working with the Scrum methodology, we adopted the title product owner. Now, in any sense, it doesn't mean that the title is the most important thing, because like I said, the outcomes way higher than the titles. Titles can mean anything. For instance, in Google, product managers are called program managers. So it doesn't mean that there are not clear expectations at the end of the day. It's all about what does the company want to achieve with the product manager. And if the company decides, or if it has been defined, then it's now much easier for the product manager to either assume a role as a product owner or whatever role the company decides to define as that. So please let me know whether I can see the takeaways.
Not yet. I can't see.
Yes, I can see the screen you share, the takeaways. Hi, Fumnanya. Can you hear me?
Victor, you are the only one that can see takeaway. I'm still seeing not
I can't
sure
see
if
takeaway. I'm
product
still
owner.
seeing.
Well, I don't really, no, I'm still takeaway here, where he said outcome matters way more than titles. Product managers and product owners working together is the way to go.
I can see takeaway.
I can't see takeaway. What I'm
Yeah,
saying here is
if we should not start, if we should not start APC and PDP, no, I cannot see takeaway. I can.
This is getting
You
more
want
funny.
to change this to
takeaway is here.
Network
Outcome
can be
matter
very
way
funny
more
in
than
Nigeria.
title.
let me try log out and log in again quickly.
Together is the way to go.
Or kindly put your phone on airplane mode, then put it back and you see the difference, please. Thank you.
Okay, so I left and joined back. Hello, Fumnanya.
Hi.
Please, I want to ask one question. What network are you using, first of all? Let's understand our flight in Nigeria.
Yeah, I'm using my MTN Wi-Fi, which is quite surprising because it's very good, and then all of a sudden today it's not good. So I'm so surprised.
Our prayer warriors is not fast. They only pray.
That's okay. But can you see the takeaways?
Yeah, I can see it now.
Okay, great. So I was saying that with takeaways, outcomes matter way more than titles. You can still hear me, right?
I can hear you.
Yes,
I can hear you.
Okay, great. So outcomes matter way more than titles. You need to be able to define the outcome. It doesn't matter whatever title that you take in your organization. A product manager is a product manager at the end of the day. Whether you're a product owner, whether you're a product specialist, you're still a product manager. But the outcomes matter way more than the titles. So if you fixate on the titles, you would lose focus on the outcomes. But if you ask me what's like the best way to work, should both roles intersect together, or should we have clearly defined people working on those roles? And my answer will be the latter. It would be great to have a product manager and a product owner working together. That would be fantastic. But I know that most organizations probably do not have the luxury to get another product manager to act as a product owner, which is fine. But if you're going to do any or both, you need to make sure that clear expectations are set. So before I started my product manager role, I spoke to my manager and I asked, what is success for me in this role? And even when we were changing to product owners, I asked him again, what is success for me in this role? So in that sense, I was able to clearly understand the expectations, both from the business angle and from the product angle. I was able to understand and I was able to know that, okay, this is what is expected of me. But mostly, what you would see is that one person is handling both roles. Yes, I can do both currently in my organization. Because like I said in the previous slide, one of the slides, you could see where the product manager and the product owner were joined together. You could see that there were some things that I do as a product manager, but my official role is product owner. Now, you can do both, but it's a big ask, which is currently what I'm doing. It's a big challenge for me, and I love to challenge. It's has accorded me the opportunity to learn, to get better, and to innovate. At the end of the day, sorry, someone's speaking. Okay. So at the end of the day, both are born to deliver value. So whether you're a product manager, you're a product owner, you're a program manager, whatever product specialization that you find yourself in, you are born to deliver value. And if you're not delivering value at the end of the day, if you're not delivering value to your customers, if you're not delivering value to your business, if you're not delivering value to your team, you run the risk of failure and your position might well be under threat in that sense. So please do remember that you have to create meaningful value in whatever role that you find yourself. And that is the end of my presentation. I want to thank you all for listening and also standing by me with the multiple network issues. I'm ready to take any questions if you guys do have questions.